So I just rewatched The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What did you just say? What is that? I've never heard of that. That's understandable. I might be one of the 10 people under the age of 50 who's seen this movie. Probably one of the 2 people under the age of 50 who's seen this movie more than once. But, you know, it is what it is. I just rewatched it. I enjoy it. And so I wanted to talk about it. So The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad is kind of a 2-in-1 movie. It's 2 different stories that combine to make about an hour and 10 minutes of runtime. But it's 2 classic stories, an animated adaptation of The Wind in the Willows and an animated adaptation of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Now, like I said, I have seen this movie a couple of times before. If someone told me that they hadn't seen it, I wouldn't be surprised. If someone told me they hadn't even heard of it, I wouldn't be surprised. This movie is like 70 years old at this point. It's not new. But regardless of whether or not you've seen this film or not, if you grew up watching older animated films or animated shorts, the nostalgia wave will hit you immediately after pressing play. The combination of the opening credits with the music behind it hits me in a way that just reminds me of my childhood. It takes me back immediately. When it comes to the actual stories that make up this movie, they're both classics. I remember as a kid reading The Wind in the Willows and just really enjoying it. And while I don't remember every detail of that story now, I just remember loving that story. As far as The Legend of Sleepy Hollow goes, I don't actually remember if I ever did read it. If it was part of the school curriculum, then I definitely read it at some point and just forgot that I read it. But I think that even if you haven't read it, that story is so ingrained in like literature and just culture that a lot of people just know the gist of that story regardless. With both of these stories being classic, beloved pieces of literature, it is a little dicey trying to do them justice in this sort of 2-for-1 fashion with a very limited amount of runtime to dedicate to each story. Details are going to be left out. Not every plot point is going to be covered, but I do think that this is a good adaptation because they're able to present it in a way that does get the story across. In both instances, you're able to get the story across without really like butchering it or botching it. You do get to tell these stories just in a more concise way. I do particularly like the design for the characters in the Wind in the Willows adaptation. You know, whether it be Toad or Angus McBadger or Rat or Mole, I think all of the designs were done really well. And I think that that just really helps bring that world to life, especially when you're looking at a limited runtime, 30 minutes or less to dedicate to this story. You gotta have everything looking good and sounding good, and I think the character design really just pulls you in. And like I said, I read The Wind in the Willows as a kid, so I have some deep nostalgia for the story, and that just makes me love this adaptation all the more. Oh, and this is not up for debate. Mr. Toad is one of the top 3 frog or toad related characters of all time. I do also enjoy this version of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, but the chase scene in this adaptation gives me anxiety. And it's not anything to do with it being scary or anything like that, or even suspenseful. It's just, if I'm trying to get through this creepy wooded area, right, and my horse just falls asleep, and I'm like pushing on it, I'm pulling it, to the point where I'm behind it, face in the horse balls, and this horse is not moving, and I'm gonna get murdered, I'm murdering this horse. Like, just out of spite, I'm killing this horse. Just like Mr. Toad is a top 3 frog toad related character of all time, this horse might be bottom 3 horses of all time. Because that horse, like, you're gonna get me killed, horse, just falling asleep, just dozing off, like we don't have anywhere to be. I hate this horse. I might be one of the few people in this world who actually care, but I wish we had more current versions of classic stories. Like, when was the last time we got a Wind in the Willows anything? The 1900s? Last century sometime? When was the last time we had Sleepy Hollow? I mean, I guess there was a movie like less than 15 years ago. I don't know when that movie came out. I haven't seen it. But I guess that's one that's, pretty current. Wind in the Willows, no such thing, as far as I'm aware. When was the last time we had Robinson Crusoe? Or the Swiss Family Robinson? Or Treasure Island? Was the last Treasure Island thing the Muppets? Because if so, that was a long time ago. Where are these classic stories? Why aren't we telling them more? Because clearly, sequels have kind of had their day, and you know, we're just retelling the same story in movies nowadays. Let's revisit some old classic stories. Let's make new movies of old stories. Come on. Somebody, please do it. But anyway, like I said, it's been a very long time since I read either of these stories. One of them I can't even remember if I read at all, so I can't really speak to the accuracy of this particular adaptation of these two stories. I'm just kind of taking it for what it is, but what it is something that I really enjoy. I'm really fond of this movie, and I know it's been all but forgotten by people, but my enjoyment of it will remain. I really think that this one's worth checking out. I think it's a good movie, and if you say otherwise,
I'll pop him off! Stop, don't shoot!
But that's all I've got to say about the adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. If you've seen this movie or even heard of it, let me know in the comments down below so that I know that I didn't hallucinate it. If you want to help me out here on YouTube, liking this video, commenting on this video, subscribing to the channel, checking out some of my other videos, all those things help me grow the YouTube channel. And yeah, until next time, bye.
Gad, what have I been missing?